Hey everybody, Richard from Nova Hobbies back again with one more little quick review. Just wanted to show you something that was going on. This is an old model that I've had kicking around forever, and I actually only just started putting it together and painting it. You'll recognize this one for all of the Lower Decks fans. This is the Cerritos, or the California class. And mine is not the Cerritos. I decided, because I knew that he was coming out with a version 2, I was like, all right, well, let me get the version 2 and call that the Cerritos. And this one will be, I'll paint it with the blue medical, and this will be the Merced. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. I say Merced. So this will be the Merced, and I've still got a lot of work to do on this. I only just recently did the blue on here, so you can see that I've got a lot of cleanup that I have to do here and here. Just a couple spots where the where the paint, the masking missed, and so we got a little overspray there. So not too much, but a little bit going on here. And when I was building this and I knew that he was going to do the version 2, I said, all right, well, let me contact him and see if I can get the wallpaper decals for this one as well. But let me show you the version 2. There's actually not a whole lot of difference between the two, but all of the differences sort of add up and make it a nicer ship. First of all, here's the primary hull for the version 2. First thing I notice is that there are little escape hatches all along here, which are missing on the on the version 1. And you've got some detail on what I presume are either sensors or photon torpedo tubes here and here, that this is just blank space on version 1. And I guess the biggest difference, well, first of all, there's a sort of a ribbed pattern on the phaser bank all around here, whereas this is just a perfectly smooth, older style phaser. And I don't know why these hatches are different. I did notice that on the ship as well. There's on the show as well, but there's square, smaller lifeboat hatches all along here, and then there are different shaped lifeboat hatches. I'm assuming they're lifeboat hatches all along back here, which are missing on the version 1. So that's all new right there. And there's a few little details. There's like transporter. I don't know if I'm not even sure if all of these are supposed to be on the show, but there's transporter pads here and here that are missing, and same thing with the front. There's a couple transporter pads here and here that aren't on the original, and it's just a slightly different. They're all very slight modifications, but they seem to build up to look like a different ship. Um, the understructure is thicker than this one here, and this front little claw shape is different, very subtly different to the one that was here. Otherwise, the back end looks pretty similar. Pretty similar. Oh, I see RCS thruster cutouts on this on the version 2. If you get in real close here, you can see cutouts for the RCS thrusters, and those are definitely not in the version 1. The lower deflector pod, same thing, just a few changes. I see escape hatches on the new one. That's nice, and a rear phaser strip, also nice. So I guess the people who are on this, they're not doomed to a fiery death. If anything happens, they've actually got a chance to escape. So that's nice of them to add that touch. And the top of that hull is pretty much identical. Okay, there's no changes on that. As for the warp nacelles, let's see. Well, first of all, I did notice that the pylons have a nice little detail now. It's not much. It's very little to work on, but there's some inset detail on the front of the pylon, and there's some scribed detail along the back here. I guess I should flip that backwards. The inset detail is on the back of the pylon, and the scribe detail is on the front. That makes more sense. But like I said, small differences, but it's gonna add up. And same thing with the nacelle. This is perfectly smooth right here. There's really nothing. There's no details on these nacelles. It's very blank, very plain. The new one has a whole lot of raised panel detail. And a little bit of detail on the back that's non-existent on the original. So small changes all around. Yeah, just generally more detailed. I don't know if, let's see if you can get in on that. If you can just sort of, there you go. You can sort of see just from that the level of small detail changes that's going on. There's scribed areas for the vents in the back that are missing on the old version. But I'm still keeping this. I like the version 1, and I do want to go ahead and, I mean, I'm that far along on it, I don't want to stop it. But in the meantime, I do have the wallpaper decals for it. And they were kind enough to go ahead and send 2 sets of decals for me so that I can go ahead and do wallpapers for both of these here. I say kind enough, but you know. Let's see, what do we have? Okay, so these are the ones that normally come with most sets. These are all of the escape pod hatches, but these are the new version 2 ones, so it has the stranger shaped panels in the back there, and that's really nice. Multiples of the I'll be using these here, and you can see I was actually even color testing. That's my paint that I used for that. And so that'll match up real nicely. Here's the actual wallpaper decals. These are, I'd say they're definitely, these are looking easier than the Parliament decals are. The Parliament decals are probably the most challenging ones that he makes. But you'd be able to, that would be one whole panel there. I would probably split that into 2 because of this cutout here. Same thing with this. I would probably split this into 2. But these are fairly easy and straightforward wallpaper decals. There's really nothing too hard on these. But it's still going to make a big difference versus trying to paint this Aztec pattern in. So I'm looking forward to these. So I just wanted to do a real quick review and a shout out saying thank you very much for sending me doubles on these, and not laughing at me too much for saying I wanted to put these on the old version 1. But here, that's where we're at, and I'll be working on this in between the Duderstadt and the Titan. This one isn't really as high of a priority. I want to get those other ones done first. But these are really, really nice wallpaper decals that'll go along with this kit. And the version 2 is definitely a nicer model than the version 1 is. Just little changes, but they go a long way to making a much nicer kit. I'm just checking before I sign off here, taking a look at this. This is the front. One of these is loose. There we go. I'm looking to see if there's any major changes on this, if there's any at all. And no. Okay, so the front the front of the warp nacelles is identical. It's really all the changes to the back of the warp nacelle, the support pylons, and mostly the primary hull. That's where most of those changes are. But all of those little changes add up to something that this is going to be a much nicer looking model. So definitely, if you're looking at version, I don't even know if he's doing version 1 still, but if there's a difference between version 1 and version 2, go for the V2, because you'll be happier with this one, I think. There's far more details than this. That's it, guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic night, and happy modeling.